Hi everyone, Emily here. Haha. And I just realized, oh look, there's my linen closet open. You can see what it looks like. Fun times. Um, but this is unedited, folks. Today I have for you day 11 of my Advent calendar, and then I'm going to show you another bookshelf in my place. And this bookshelf is my YA middle grade, mainly YA. So let's get to it. And I'm having an asthma moment. All right. So day 11 is black and tan. Adventurous blend of Costa Rica, Sumatra, and Colombia. That sounds delicious. All right. So here is my bookshelf. I've got the 3 Graceling books there, Graceling, Fire, and Bitter Blue. I just got those free. The school where I work at, it was in the library, free for taking, and yes, I took them. Fountains of Silence, I need to read more by her. I've read Between Shades of Grey, and that was really good, or Beyond Shades of Grey. I don't remember the title, but it was really good. Skyward and Stardust, or Starsight, those are the only 2 books in that series that I have by Brandon Sanderson. Been going through his Cosmere. My little snowman, that's from Yankee Candle Company. I got it dirt cheap one year. Excuse me, that can hold their large candles, and it's just so cute. All right, I'm going to scoot closer. Sorry for the moving around. All right, I've got, how I've organized my bookshelf is these are all my unread books because I like to have them on top, so it helps my brain to organize a little bit better of what I need to pick from when I'm looking and building a TBR or for a readathon. So I've got Half a King, Half the World, Half a War by Joel Abercrombie, which is his middle grade YA. Shadow and Bone trilogy, Winter's Promise, that the Mirror Visitor quartet. Those I got dirt cheap at a used book sale. My Calamity Jane, My Plain Jane, Cold Fire by Tamora Pierce. You would have seen those recently in a book haul. The Chalice of the Gods by Rick Riordan. And then I've slowly been collecting Rick Riordan books. You can see that's my collection there. And what's been hard about collecting him is he's so prolific, and then I'm I don't remember what I have. And for some reason, I can't access my Google Sheets on my phone. So it's a convoluted, complicated story. I'm not going to get into it. But I don't have access to it on my phone, so then I don't know what I have. So it's been fun trying to figure out what I have. Sorry for the shakiness. I had a box in front of my bookshelf that I was trying to move. And then I have all these cute little Baby Yoda figurines, and I love Baby Yoda. And I had a coworker who gave me all but 2 of them. So there's my pledge. Clearly I was cleaning. More Rick Riordan. V.E. Schwab, that duology, that was from our recent book haul. Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I liked, I'm toying with whether I should just unhaul those 3 books. And here's why. I really liked, oh gosh, Strange the Dreamer. I did, but I actually was not liking it enough to continue on with Muse of Nightmares. So my copy of The Velveteen Rabbit I've had since I was a little girl. Loved Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. The Wild Robot. I did just get rid of The Wild Robot Escapes, but I loved Wild Robot, so I want to keep that. Warrior Girl Unearthed. Now we're in the realm of books that I've read. Warrior Girl Unearthed by Angeline Boulley. I really liked, but I did not like it as much as Firekeeper's Daughter. And this book is set 10 years after Firekeeper's Daughter. So, like, it stands alone on itself, but there are characters from the previous book in this book, so it helps to have read both. The Secret Garden, Legendborn, and Bloodmark. Looking forward to the next book that's coming out next year. I don't know if it's supposed to be a trilogy or a quartet. I don't know. The Hunger Games, which I love. I did read and unhauled A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I just did not care for it all that much. I do want to read Haymitch's backstory when that comes out, but I don't think I'm going to purchase it. I'm going to try to get it on loan. And then let me move this. All right, this is Splintered, Unhinged, Ensnared, and then Untamed. And this, I need to show you this because these covers are gorgeous. Like, they're Splintered. Here's Unhinged. Ensnared. And then there's Untamed. And I just wished people would talk about this more. I loved this series. It is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, where, like, the main... Oh, sorry, Kachina Dell. The main character, she's named Alyssa Gardner, and she can hear, like, plants and insects and their thoughts. And, like, her mother is in an insane asylum. And because they think, like, whoa, that's scary. And it's just basically Wonderland, and I loved it. Untamed is the backstory for the Queen of Hearts. And then I've got As Long as the Lemon Tree Grows, which I absolutely loved when it came out. I think it should be required reading. It's just beautiful. Then we've got Illuminae, Gemina Obsidio, which I also really enjoyed. I'm going to pause for a moment. I want to get Hunger Games back on the shelf. There we go. What do I have here? Then I've got, I love this book, Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. I read that so many times as a kid, and I was like, oh, that's fascinating to like live in a museum. And I grew up in a south suburb of Chicago, so I lived like near, I've grown up going to the Art Institute and the Museum of Science and Industry and the Field Museum, so I thought that was fascinating. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I love this book. Taught it. The Giver. Same. Love it. Taught it. But I've never read any other books in the series. Excuse me. Legendborn, Prodigy, Champion. Loved those 3 books. There's a 4th book that happens 10 years later. I think it's called Rebel. I didn't really feel like it added anything to the world, so I got rid of it. The first couple of books of Keeper of the Lost Cities, which I've been enjoying. The Host by Stephanie Meyer. It's an interesting love quadrangle. That's all I gotta say. But it's her young adult, I don't know, young adults, like sci-fi. I really enjoyed it. Then here's all of my Ella Montgomery, Anne of Green Gables, that whole series, and then The Blue Castle and Emily of New Moon, which is very, you can see, they are very beat up because I've had them since I was in like the 2nd or the 3rd grade. So I've had them for 40 years now. This is a map from Japan. I have a friend who... in high school, she would host students from Japan as like an exchange program, and then one of her majors was East Asian language and cultures, and she lived in Japan for a year. So I've got a couple of fans from Japan, and then a sake cup. Delirium, Pandemonium, and Requiem. I read this back in like 2017. And no, not 2017. Back in 2013, 2014, that long ago. So 10 years ago, and I keep meaning to reread it. I borrowed it, like a coworker would have these books, like same with like the Legend books. So Legend and then this trilogy she had, and like there's a bunch of us that like borrowed them and read them, and we all enjoyed them. And I keep meaning to reread this one, and it just hasn't happened yet. Tamora Pierce, I love her. So I've got Alana in the Hand of God, is the woman who rides like a man, Lioness Rampant. That's her original series. And then Wild Magic is the first book in another series that piggybacks, has characters from this series in it. And then this continues on with First Test, Paige, Squire, Lady Knight. Love her. And then I've got Trickster's Choice, which features the daughter of a character in Atlanta. I don't want to tell who because it's a little spoilery. Next to that, that's kind of hiding that you can't see, is The Westing Game, which is a fantastic book. A mystery. Divine Rivals, which I loved. My Harry Potter. Hiding between Harry Potter is The Witch of Blackbird Pond. So you can tell how beat up that book is. And then I've got, here's what's fascinating about this series. So I've got the old book covers for the first two books. And then they changed the style of the book covers. They're sticking together. But I love that series. And I think it's better than I love the Hunger Games, and it's better than the Hunger Games. There's Izzy Willy Nilly by Cynthia Voigt, which is about a girl who goes to a party with a senior high school boy who asks her to the party. He's drunk driving, and they get into a car accident. He comes away on fine. She ends up having one of her legs amputated, and just her life after that. Then we've got Jackaroo there and On Fortune's Wheel. And those are, I don't know how to describe those. They're like adventure, historical, fantasy. I don't really know. Got Charlotte's Web. Oh, hiding between Charlotte's Web is Daddy Longlegs, which I love. I do have some Chinese currency there. I have a friend who lived in China for over a decade. Laura Ingalls Wilder. Then I've got some children's books from when I was a child. So what do I have? I've got The Little Engine That Could, The Missing Piece Makes the Bit of Green Eggs and Ham, Where the Wild Things Are. This book I love. It is The Oxcart Man by... Sorry, I had to look. Friar Cooney? I can't tell. This one, it's like a couple of those books, like Green Eggs and Ham and Where the Wild Things Are and The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Those aren't the copies from when I was a kid, but this, The Oxcart Man, is. And I'm going to just show you a page of it. It has just these beautiful illustrations. So it's about this farmer who and his family, and just the seasons and the cycle of life as he prepares to go to the market, and his journey to the market, like what he purchases at the market, and then him coming home, and then like just throughout the year, how the family uses the purchases at the market to like grow the animals and the crops, and then how that then becomes the product that he sells later at the market. And then I also have my favorite little golden book, The Pokey Little Puppy. He's just so adorable. All right, and that is my, sorry for the shakiness, my YA middle grade children's bookshelf. These dolls, I have relatives who lived in Arizona when I was really young, like when I was 2, and we went out to visit them and came home with those. So, all right, have you read any of these books? And what do you think about some of the books that I'm not sure if I want to read them. And as always, happy reading. Bye.